you mentioned Duke, and they had a little bit of a pause, as is just sort of the world we live in now, and then they come out. Now, last year, one of the topics that people talk about is, would it be better if Gonzaga had lost as opposed to coming to the tournament with all that pressure? And whatever that answer is, that's great. But now we have these teams with these pauses. Are there any positives? I mean, when you talk to people around college basketball, can they sell this as almost like a bye week in football where having this time off will actually help them later in the season? Or did you see rust with Duke tonight and look, they're just going to have to deal with it, but it's not a good thing?
A little bit of rust with Duke, but Duke wins. In fact, I thought it was a good sign. Duke won by double digits, and Paolo Banchero gets the most pub because he's going to go in the top 3 of the June draft, probably. Wendell Moore was, like 2 of 11, 2 of 13. He had a bad night. He's been the team's MVP, so he didn't even play well. Duke wins easily. To your first question, are coaches thinking that these pauses might serve like a bonus, a second bye week on the football side, and is that a good thing? The answer across the board, and I can speak to this because I am talking to, just by the nature of reporting on the sport, I'm talking with anywhere from 5 to 10 coaches in a given day. The answer is no. They don't like the pauses at all. Colorado State finally returned to play and beat Air Force on Tuesday night, but I happened to speak with its head coach, Nico Medved, last night. Colorado State hasn't lost a game yet. Top 20 team in America, but just aching to finally get back out and play another game. No, there's something to be said for once you get into the grind of conference season, dog days after Valentine's Day, before March gets here. A lot of coaches will tell you their players sometimes get a little antsy, and almost is good if you could have some sort of theoretical 5 or 6 day break. But this idea that you're missing games, you don't know when you're going to miss them, and you could wind up sitting out for 10, 14 days. No one likes that. It's not good for the continuity of the sport. And just to kind of spin your question forward, keep this in mind. One, a lot of people around the sport feel like once we get to around Valentine's Day, the college basketball schedule is going to be more reliable. They're looking at the trends and how Omicron projects out, and hopefully that it will burn through and we won't have as many cancellations. But when it gets to Selection Sunday, we could have some real wonkiness. We really could have situations where some teams were fortunate enough to get in 30 or 31 games by Selection Sunday, and other teams, they might be at 20, 21, 22 games. So it's going to be interesting to see how the selection committee, if we have that situation, how it assesses and seeds teams that might have a difference of 8, 10, 12 games between their at-large resumes.
This is why we have Matt on, because that's it. You talk to people and you ask the questions that people are talking about as they're sitting in their living rooms and on the bar stools. Like, hey, is it a good thing that our team gets the 2 weeks off? It's in the middle of the season. And the answer is no. And it is going to be a challenge for the committee potentially at the end of the year if you have teams that have radically different numbers of games and you're trying to make decisions on seeding and on who ultimately makes the tournament. That's why we have Matt on. Excellent job. And you want more Matt? You need more Matt? Well, we've got him on that wall. Eye on College Basketball. Part of our great CBS Sports podcast. You download, you subscribe, you enjoy.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.